guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled Ex-Cop Turned OnlyFans Model Now Fears Gold Diggers. And big shout out to the guy that sent me this article. You know who you are. And guys, this whole article is about a gal. She is 28 years old, a former police officer over in England who found her path in life as displaying herself on OnlyFans. And thanks to her and all the thirsty guys out there that are clueless, she now, I believe, last year made $2.3 million on that, or like over $200,000 a month, give or take. Quite a bit of money. From dudes all over the world, they're paying their $5 a month fee subscription. But here's the interesting part. Now, she's afraid of male gold diggers. It's funny because it's always the guys that are always on the lookout. Guys are successful, they have money, however they got it, for the female gold diggers. But now you're starting to have gals finding success and money, whatever means they get it. I don't quite call a OnlyFans career success. But anyhow, she's got money and she's worried. She's worried that guys are going to take advantage of her to get them to buy her to buy them cars and all that type of stuff because she's looking to find love one day. Isn't that funny? Now, for you guys that don't know what OnlyFans is, real quick, it's a paid service. It's literally labeled social media, which in my opinion is not. It's something else that starts with a P, ends with an N, where women go on there and they show pictures of themselves ranging from bikinis and lingerie to nudes to pictures and videos of them doing certain acts that you guys can imagine. And typically, the more adventurous they are on their OnlyFans pages, the more fans they get. And they also will talk to their fans and all that. And these gals are former police officers, nurses, school teachers. One was a pastor I read about one time who left her calling as a pastor to become an OnlyFans gal. It's unbelievable. But again, as I say, welcome to Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world. But some of these gals make a ton of money off these suckers out there. So for any of you guys watching this, you subscribe to these girls, cut that shit out now. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to go through this article here real quick here in the borderline complaining about her not being worried about the male gold diggers. It's pretty funny when the script is flipped, and now they're worried about, while always guys have been on the lookout for the girls. And then after this article, which is brief, I'm going to do an entertaining article I found about written for women to beware of male gold diggers. Like, this is actually now a thing that now the women are finding success and obviously making money. An article written to protect women from male gold diggers. It's give you a laugh. So it starts off, it says here, ex-British cop Charlotte Rose, who burst onto OnlyFans scene in 2021 by giving off Lisa Ann vibes to men who track such things, is back in the news with a new issue in her life after making north of $2.3 million via the social media app OnlyFans. Again, I don't consider OnlyFans a social media app. I consider it something completely different than that. The cop who earned a badge at 18 and retired at 27 to build her OnlyFans $5 per month empire now says she's scared of gold diggers who want a piece of her hard-earned cash. Hard-earned? She's now 28. Rose is speaking out about the pitfalls that have come with fame and fortune. She's quoted saying, "I do worry with the cars I had that a guy would look at that and be like, jackpot. I get to drive supercars and luxury cars every day and live in a big house." Well, I'm sure he's probably looking more than her cars. I'm sure he's not looking at her. And in my opinion, she's 28, so she's in her 20s, in her prime, and she's a hottie. I'll give credit where credit's due. But I can't begin to imagine paying money a month to look at this broad and converse with her and all that, because that's how they make their money, by memberships, conversing with them, donations, that type of thing. I mean, come on, guys. She says, like a rich guy worried that a woman just wants him for his American Express Centurion Black Card, Rose has similar concern that keeps her up at night. She says, "I don't really socialize as I'm always working, so I don't really meet many new people," the ex-cop explained. "The only time I chat to guys is on OnlyFans, and most of them are faceless, anonymous guys," she added. "The ones who do send pictures, I always wonder if I'm being catfished and it's really them." So what's the plan for her to help a woman in her late 20s who could see her OnlyFans stardom slip away at any moment as men move on to the next Lisa Ann clone? Charlotte says it's time to make as much money as possible. It's time to fully fund the retirement. Okay, I mean, that's sensible. She is in her prime, and there's going to be a time in the near future where there'll be less guys interested in her as she gets older. So it's best to make all that money now, probably put it in the right places and invest it. But then again, if she's just talking about her driving fancy sports cars, that's not quite the way to go with your money. If you realize your time is limited with all the money you can make and all that, piss it away on expensive cars. That's the problem with people who make a lot of money real quick and don't have a lot of self-discipline when it comes to money or knowledge and where to put it. They can make a ton of money, and they think it's going to go on forever, but then they piss it away on bullshit like fancy foreign cars, and then they're up shit creek because it's very hard for people to shake that lifestyle once that ends, if it's a brief period of time from something like this. She says, I think in the next couple of years, once I got myself set for life, I can calm down the work front and focus on me time. And I guess that's when a guy may come. Rose, who noted she doesn't do PORN on OnlyFans, told Jam Press. I have a very hard time believing that she makes like $200K a month or over $2 million a year and doesn't do one bit of PORN on OnlyFans. If she doesn't, okay, good for her. I have a little more respect, but still. This game plan is a pretty smart decision when you consider the money she's hauling in each month by chatting with lonely men. See, said it right there. Lonely men. As of March 2021, Rose was grossing $210,000 a month by selling semi-nude, now we're getting somewhere, photos and chatting up men from around the world. Sure, the 16-hour days are long and they pile up, but like a smart entrepreneur, Rose knows she can go balls to the walls for another 24 months and grow somewhere between around $5 million. Then maybe you dial things back to 8 hours per day and find you a man that likes to tinker in the garage and is up for 3-day beer-bending weekends. Get your resumes together, fellas. So, I know that's a quick article, but I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, amazing how that's changed. Well, it's always the guys on the lookout. And notice whenever articles are written for things that guys should watch out for, or oftentimes I have videos done where beware of those gold digger types, usually that guy who publishes that article or whatever is usually looked down upon, is frowned upon, because God forbid a man points these things out, because newsflash, there are gold diggers out there. They only want a guy for the resources, nothing more. But if a gal points this out, she's worried that guys will come after her for her money. Well, that's a different ballgame. And to make my point, this next article I'm going to go over is actually a guide to address women that have money or success on how to watch out for male gold diggers. And as I go over this, I will say there are a few things that are okay, I kind of agree with, or fair, but most of them are just ridiculous. Okay? But again, when a man writes an article about things for men to watch out for, then he's the bad guy. But if it's centered and targeted towards women, then it's a different ballgame. So this article says how to spot a male gold digger according to a guy. So he's a traitor. Says in the interest of gender equality, it's important to note that men are just as capable of being gold diggers as women. The problem is that we haven't been trained as a society to look out for male gold diggers. Hopefully that's about to change. Here are some signs to be aware of a guy that you're dating. Well, I'm going to interrupt this real quick and say I have never known a dude in my entire life that could be labeled a male gold digger. Not one. There was one guy in my junior high and high school who was this dude who just got every chick in school. I kid you not. He was that good looking, that charming. And I never saw him as a gold digger. However, I used to joke I could see him later on in time, when he got older, using his charm to get some rich woman. That's the only guy I've ever known. But he was a nice dude, at least with guys. So personality-wise, I don't know if he would do that, but I've never known any guy. So it's funny that this is being written here. Number one, he's dressed like he's already rich. Men who love money but don't have it want to look the part of a rich person. The guy wants women to think that he has money of his own, and even if he doesn't. By dressing in expensive clothing, he's trying to give off the impression that he's a man of means. He thinks this will attract women who have money, because they'll be able to relate to him. Obviously, there's a chance he's rich, but there's a bigger chance he's a gold digger in cheap clothing. No, I would say more like there are plenty of dudes that like to give off the impression that they're rich by their clothes and their watches and their jewelry and their cars, and are up to their eyeballs in credit card debt and car loans and all that, more just for their own egos than actually to rope in a girl that has money. Okay, I'm sure it's obviously happened, but a lot of guys do that, which, by the way, you guys, I'm going to assume you don't, because that's stupid as shit. You need to live beneath your means and save up your money and invest it in the right places, not buy bullshit clothes and jewelry and cars trying to show off, because that shows how insecure you are. But there are a lot of guys who will just do that anyway. It has nothing to do with trying to rope in a rich girl. I mean, come on. Number 2, his car is expensive/fancy. Keep in mind that just because a guy has an expensive car doesn't mean he can afford one. It can be rented, borrowed, or he could put himself in debt to buy it. The truth is that maybe he aspires to that lifestyle and wants to meet a woman who can support it. If he paid for it in cash, fine, fair enough. But don't be fooled by appearances. Well, again, like I said in the beginning, there are plenty of guys that would buy things like that they can't afford just to look like they're rich. And it's interesting, guys. I've known people in my life that have real money. And a lot of you never know it. By the way they dress, by the way they act. A lot of them don't go around with expensive designer clothes or jewelry or drive around Ferraris. And they're loaded. And then I also know guys that don't have shit. And they will up to their eyeballs in debt and credit card debt, auto loan debt, and everything to make the appearance for their own egos. Another one. Your job piques his interest. Ladies, if your guy starts laying on the charm after you mention that you have a high-paying job, look out. Like their female counterparts, male gold diggers are great at looking for signs that someone is loaded. If he only seems interested after finding out that you make a lot of money, he's probably a gold digger. Well, not necessarily. Maybe he's a guy who does well for himself, and if he is a relationship guy, he wants a gal that actually can make money herself to make sure they're kind of in the same tax bracket so he won't be taken advantage of. Or maybe he wants somebody on his level that can match his ambition and drive. There's a big possibility, or also someone that's not going to take advantage of him because she's got her money. Not necessarily he's asking just so he can get her money. Another one, he says, he asks about your family right away. Most guys aren't all that interested in your family, or at least they won't be early in a relationship. If a guy is quick to ask about your parents, where they live, what they do, he's probably fishing to see if you have family money. Early on, a guy should be asking about you, not your family, right? That's bullshit, okay? I always tell you guys, for your relationship guys, you want to ask about her family. You want to know them and meet them to see what they're like, what the relationship is, because that can give you a clue what your relationship is going to be like with her, especially if you get serious with her. And I'm the type of guy that inquires about everybody. So I want to know what, whether it's a friend or a woman, what does her family do, what they're like, blah, 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 where they live, out of just curiosity. Not because I'm gold digging. So more bullshit here. Another one, he asks for your PIN number. Okay, he's not going to outright ask for your PIN number. Remember, gold diggers are typically clever. If you mention needing to go to the ATM and he jumps at the chance to go for you, something isn't right. It's not like he's in a rush to run other errands, right? If a guy is overly eager to learn your PIN or sneak peek at your bank account, he's probably a gold digger. Okay, then I'll give that's a fair one. If he's looking to find out that information, fine. But even then, it's not a bad idea that a guy, if he's getting serious with a girl, and maybe if he sees a future with her in terms of a marriage, which I don't agree with, but it happens, you ought to know where she's coming from. What kind of resources does she have? Does she have a lot of credit card debt? These are good reasons that a guy could be curious. Another one, he encourages lavish spending. Okay, now that's a good red flag. Gold diggers always want to spend someone else's money on expensive things. Even if you're buying something for yourself, he shouldn't be pushing you to make an expensive purchase. A gold digger will want you to buy high-end stuff. He wants to live that kind of lifestyle and wants you to think that you can have that lifestyle with him. Even if it's your money, that's paying for it. So there may be a little truth there. But if he's a hardworking guy himself, let's just say he has a busy career and you do too, and as a boyfriend he says, you bust your ass, you work hard, you got a big bonus, go treat yourself to that stupid handbag or clothes you like. That's not necessarily him being a gold digger or trying to encourage the lavish lifestyle. They say, hey, reward yourself, you work hard. Another one. Here's a good one. He says he finds ways to skip out on the bill. Early on, all guys will try to pick up the check for dinner and drinks, but a gold digger will start finding ways to weasel out of the check. Sometimes he'll forget his wallet. Sometimes he'll use the bathroom when he sees the waitress coming with the check. And remember that gold diggers are clever, and they will always find ways to get you to foot the bill for things. Well, in today's world where everything's supposed to be equal, of strong, empowered women, I think it's only fair that the girl pays for the bill some of the time. Why should he always have to do that? And it doesn't mean he's a gold-digging man or anything like that. Now, there are guys out there that are cheap, and that will... we all know that guy. You know, I'm sure you guys, whether it's a guy you work with or you're friends with or friends with in the past, who tends to disappear when the bill comes for dinner. Well, that guy's just cheap or is an asshole, which you got to call those guys out. And I would advise not hanging out with those types. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a gold digger. Another one, number 9. His charm goes away. Sadly, gold diggers are usually cool, suave, and great at talking to women. It will always come off as charming in the beginning, but once he senses that you're invested in the relationship, starts to get serious, the charm goes away and he'll focus on spending money, specifically your money. He knows that once you're settled in the relationship, it's harder to walk away. This gives him plenty of time to go gold digging. If you suspect this is the case, trust your instincts if something seems amiss. Notice, guys, a lot of these things, these warning things, are the crap that a lot of guys have to watch out for, right? But, and it said here about the charm going away. Well, how many times do I talk about in relationships when guys start getting too comfortable and start making her their queen, their whole world? That's when their charm in a way starts backing down, when they start getting too comfortable and they don't put in the same effort they once did. You get my point? Here you go here. And it's not always about the gold digging, it's just simply people become too comfortable with each other. Another one. Number 10, he's okay with not working. Most guys are career focused. If they're unemployed, odds are they're going crazy and trying to get back out there. They'll be upset and frustrated if they stay out of the workforce too long. On the contrary, a gold digger won't be in a rush to find a job. If he's content just to coast along while you support him, he's probably a gold digger. Now, there's truth to that, I will say. But interesting, a lot of stories I do, when these women they cheat on and leave these guys, these Chad and Tyrone bad boy types, a lot of these guys don't have jobs. And I've done stories, and maybe you guys have heard these, where the gal complains then that the guy doesn't work, and he's living with her and freeloading off her all day. I did one recently about that. Okay? And there's an example where that's definitely true. So I'll give that credit there. And 11, he wants you to buy things for us. This is one of the oldest gold digger tricks in the book. Yes, as a couple, you'll both use a new car or TV, but if he pushes you to buy something that he'll enjoy more than you, something is up. A gold digger will always push you to buy something just because you can afford it. If he uses languages like "for us" to convince you to buy something, he's probably with you for the money. And that's definitely a possibility as well. Like I said, guys, most of these, in my opinion, are exaggerations and BS, but the last two are accurate. If a dude's trying to push a gal to buy stuff, sure. But also, when it comes to guys, if a gal is trying to get him to buy a bunch of shit, there you go. But anyhow, guys, I thought this was pretty funny because it's interesting the direction things have gone, that now articles will be written to target women to help them be aware and watch out for these evil gold-digging dudes, even though I think it's extraordinarily rare. And it's also funny about like I started here with the story, the OnlyFans model. Now she's worried about gold-digging guy. Well, here's the deal. Yeah, there are going to be guys that'll certainly be like the money, but she's good looking, so they're also focused on her ass and her giant triple D tits there. But anyhow, pretty interesting. I thought that'd be a good one to go over here. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, have you ever in your life known any guys that have been gold-digging type? I'd like to hear about it. I'm sure it's very rare, but I'd like to hear about it anyway. And also, guys, be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.